Hello and welcome back to this series between Fnatic aLive and TSL Polt. This time the map is going to be Antigua Shipyard. TSL Polt is spawning in the 2 o'clock position here as the blue Terran, and aLive is spawning as the purple Terran in the 8 o'clock position over here. So these are cross spawns, something that is going to possibly pan out well for either player based on their positioning. If they could actually split this map in half if the game goes long enough, because of how this map is laid out. This is the gold high yield expos here in the middle, meaning that the if one of the players is able to grab this as a fourth base, they might be able to, but that's later in the game. If they get to that point, we'll see exactly what they're doing right now. If they decide that they can go for these 3 orbital openings, and this is a map that I think Polt favors going for 3 orbital opening, where Polt will decide that he's going to take the orbital, or he's going to build the command center on the low ground, the first one, and then he's going to, after that, he's going to just take the, put an orbital on the high ground, and we'll see if he decides to do that. In fact, both players walling off, aLive walling off just a tad bit differently than Polt here. Polt deciding to put the barracks right here because there's room enough for the add-on on the side here, and then go for the supply depot, something that I really never thought about before, but yes, that is a great positioning instead of always putting it right here, so you don't have to lift it off in this position. And here Polt getting a scout off into aLive's base, seeing the timing on that orbital, seeing there isn't a command center down on the ground yet, and Polt is saving up minerals, so he could just build that command center on the low ground, and he is deciding to do that. Now something that, oh wow, actually aLive deciding to invest in a reactor. He probably figures his opponent, because of how macro-oriented Polt is, he will have that chance to get the reactor off before any sort of pressure is put upon him at all by Polt. And that is the case here because Polt is deciding to go for this early expo. Actually, aLive going for the Destiny Cloudfish again. We'll see if he decides to go for Banshees again, or if he's just gonna produce Hellions, and it looks like that's what he's doing. He's just producing Hellions, and he might throw down a reactor, or maybe it'll be a tech lab. I don't know. This starport's gonna get done before, so we'll just plop it on the starport itself instead of dealing with that factory. Starport's done, and it's just making a medevac. So this is going to be possibly, is this going to be a 4 Hellion elevator play push? Are there 4 where are all the Hellions? How many Hellions are here? Where are the Hellions? What is the Hellion count? No, it's only 2. 6 and 6. So aLive does have an advantage here. He has more Hellions, and he has more production than his opponent. Just now finishing this second barracks, and no, maybe he thought something was fishy, so he's just going to produce Marines and deal with this. And there's a huge amount of Marines in this medevac, and he's going to keep the Hellions on the low ground, loading them up here to hit any Marines that decide to move up over close enough in range. The Hellions gonna hold position here, maybe. No, he's just gonna elevator them up, and this is looking pretty dangerous. We'll see if Polt is able to hold. If he doesn't sustain enough economic damage here, then we might see No, he's lost so many SCVs already. And now even the refinery could get taken out. No, the refinery survives. Maybe Polt can snipe the medevac. No, it's too fast. Unable to do anything. Loses one more Hellion, and he's now gonna load up, and he's gonna try and do it again, or he's just gonna get out of there. No, he's just setting up for something. He's forgetting about that medevac. He's gonna drop it in the back of the mineral line, and this could be troublesome. Now, something that I would like to see Polt do is when the drop comes, just transfer all of his SCVs to his second base, and he should be absolutely fine. This SCV deciding to take a long way around, still gets taken out. This SCV surviving with his life, and now he is returning the back, and this medevac has proved quite troublesome. Doing a lot of harass there, and he's now going to return home. Able to secure his own natural when he did that, and aLive gonna throw down a bunker, realizing possibly that there could be some sort of pressure because Polt has been on that base. We'll see if he's actually seen it. No, he doesn't see that there is a second base, but no, did he see? No, he didn't even see the command center. He just saw this starport, so he's probably figuring some sort of, well, I really don't know what he's figuring right now. I don't know what's going on in his head. Instead, he's going to go for a double refinery, and this could mean that he is going for Marine Marauder medevac with siege tanks in the back, or maybe just Marine medevac with tanks in the back. Yeah, that sounds more reasonable because there's a reactor here. And now here is the third command center for Polt. Definitely going to turn into an orbital command when he gets it done, when it finishes. And he really doesn't have all that many production facilities. He's building on 2 more barracks, but his opponent already has 3. No, his opponent already has 4. Scratch that, and they all have reactors on them, which means they are able to produce to their maximum potential. All of them have add-ons, while his starport doesn't have an add-on, and his barracks are still in production. 2 barracks still under construction just to get that command center out, and he might lose out on this. He is researching Siege Tech and Stim Pack as well. His Stim Pack will complete just a tad bit sooner than aLive's, but there really isn't all that much going on here. Another factory down, and gonna produce tanks here for aLive. aLive is looking very healthy here. His army and his production will skyrocket pretty soon, and he will have a sizable force. He already has a 20 supply lead here, or 15. No, it's now 20. A 20 supply lead over his opponent, and that's because he was able to produce these buildings, and he might just off of this, he might expand, or he might not. We'll see exactly how he decides to take this. Couple Marines headed over this way to see if he took this base. Maybe, perhaps. While he does have control of the watchtower with an SCV, not sure what maybe these Marines are checking for any sort of drops by his opponent, but he is using this time to secure his third, and he is going for the armory, which could mean that he might go Thor's. We'll see if he decides to go Thor's, but I don't feel like that would be the best option here against this many Marines. He should probably just stick with that tank composition here, and with the Marines and the medevacs, it will be a pretty deadly combo. A Marine get taken out there before he scouts this, I think.
Research.
No, he
complete.
does get the scout off. Actually destroyed the SCV, look like. And really, this is a scary push. But actually there is a Marauder here. Maybe that was an accident, or maybe it wasn't, but if he sieges up, if Polt sieges up in a good position, then he might be able to deal with this. But here we have aLive dropping. I just keep hearing Marines die everywhere, left and right, and this drop could do a lot of damage here. The reactor is here for Polt, but he's going for the economic damage. If he destroys this reactor, then his opponent will have less medevacs than him. He does get the reactor, it burns down, and the medevac escapes. Now Polt is going to have to rebuild that reactor, and now aLive is able to retreat to the safety of his home. He's now on 3 bases successfully. His opponent's on 3 bases, but he has more saturation than his opponent. TSL Polt needs to transfer some of his SCVs over, but no, he lost quite a few, so he doesn't have as many as he would like. Just one Marine chilling out right here in view of that watchtower. He's like, alright, if anything happens, I'll tell you. If that tower goes down, I'm going to tell you. I'll be here. But now, aLive, no, that Marine says, oh, what happened to that Marine? It looked like his armor just disappeared. I don't know what happened there. It just busted. And here, a Marine for Polt just going to be chilling, taking that forward position, seeing, oh, look, there's some guys up here. We're in a lot of trouble. The tank's going to leapfrog forward, ensuring that aLive doesn't move forward. aLive is now going to be taking a reposition here. He might try to, and yes, he is going to try and take the bottom position while Polt thinks he's ahead. Polt thinks that he's up here, but no, he's going to scout again. He's going to see that there's a lot of trouble here. Losing one tank instantly. Another tank goes down. The positioning here, not the best for Polt. Polt needs to reproduce all sorts of things, but here for aLive, he has 3-2 researching while Polt is actually still on 1-1. Even aLive's... Oh, these Marines are just melting to the tanks. Polt might just die right here. No, he's gonna pull back, realizing, no, there's a lot of guys here. I think it'd be best if I moved back. And now, aLive going to destroy this destructible debris, and Polt is going to take a position here. Maybe not the best position. What is he doing? He's making sure there's no escape here. He's going to try and... Oh, excellent play from aLive. Pulling those Marines up from the medevac here. But Polt is in a lot of trouble. The Marines are back far as they can be seen, so they don't get caught up by the tank fire. Now this medevac gonna take a look and see, okay, there's nobody there. What do I do next? Here, another Marine. Both players leaving Marines just about everywhere, mostly just aLive. aLive is making sure that Polt does not get that forward base. As long as aLive is here, Polt cannot take another base. He cannot take this base right here. With this Marine, he won't be able to take this base without getting scouted. And then this base right here is the only viable option he has, but he still has to go through here. And this Marine will see if these destructible debris, these destructible rocks are destroyed. A huge tank count here from aLive. Able to keep the... Wow. For momentarily, Polt and aLive are relatively even in upgrades, but if Polt isn't careful, he's going to lose a ton of Marines. The positioning is absolutely vital at this point for Polt. He doesn't have enough medevacs. And, oh, a drop over here by aLive. Polt needs to bring some units back to deal with this. He is a stem, but he loses the reactor once again, And now all the Marines are moving forward. Gonna take out this orbital. All the SCVs die. The orbital dies. And now he's gonna shuttle as many units as he can out of there, sacrificing just a few Marines. Polt is in a lot of trouble here. He needs to take a fourth, but he can't afford to. This Marine with stem is gonna survive just barely. If that stem had worn off just a second sooner, he wouldn't have gotten that kill. 4 more Marines forward stemming. And now eight more Marines in this medevac. Gonna put a stop to this expansion once again. Polt is getting shut down in his economy, and if he loses this army in the front, he could be looking at instant GG. Here are the Marines just stemming up and moving forward. Gonna get the SCV. Will they get the command center? No, it gets canceled. 1 Marine zooming into his death. Quite a few Marines here moving in, even gonna take out the medevac. And now Polt is barraging aLive from the low ground. Gonna drop on the high ground. Gonna get the tank. Now he doesn't have the position that he wants, but he is unable to destroy. No, and now the tanks. Several more tanks go down. He's probably gonna leapfrog these forward. Is aLive gonna lose his main? He does lose his main. That's 1 orbital down, and now these tanks are doing a ton of damage here to aLive. Polt needs to back out now before these tanks get into such a great position that there is no escape for them. These Marines trying to draw in the Marines, and they do. 1 Marine finally sacrificing for the rest of his comrades. But now these tanks in a great position. He sees that Polt is moving out, so he might just move these tanks. No, he's busy elsewhere. He even goes for a double orbital here, just for the extra mules and extra scans. We'll see if that pans out for him, because he's actually only mining on 1 base, basically. There are a few minerals left here, but not all that many. And look, there we go. There we have it. aLive just lifting off and floating his orbital somewhere else. A forward scan gonna reveal that aLive is here, and aLive sees that there are forces here. He sees them, and it's in range. Gonna do splash damage. Might even take out both tanks. No, 1 survives, just barely. That sensor tower no longer in operation. This sensor tower complete for aLive, just to make sure that these barracks don't get taken out again. Now constructing lots of barracks on the low ground. If Polt is able to successfully pull off a drop over here, then he could do quite a bit of damage to the production line, because they're all down here. And if he's able to completely blow off the vision from, or keep aLive from seeing up here, he won't have the ability to, but that's not really all that viable an option. And 3 medevacs up here. Gonna be another drop, or no, actually this isn't a planetary fortress. This could cost him. Does he know about it? Yes, he knows about it now, and it's gonna go down almost instantly. Let's see if it survives. No, it goes down. These Marines, a forward stem, gonna head back to the rest of the group, but no, they get taken out, and their remains do remain as a remainder. Polt really needs to put some turrets up around here, because these drops are doing so much damage here. 1 turret could fend off this entire force here. These Marines patrolling, showing them what they're made of. This medevac, not sure exactly what he's trying to do, but he's getting ready to position up there. Now Polt I don't think Polt knows about this, but he's sending a Marine over to find out. No, he's just sending it over here to make sure that he doesn't get flanked. but Polt has been unable to take bases, and Fnatic, aLive, it has taken 2 more bases, and I don't think Polt knows about either one of these. No, he knows about this one. Now, he just got the vision. He's going to destroy this SCV, but he's forced to lift off. And now, a huge force of Marines. Are they going to get it? Or will it escape? No, it won't escape. But now he's in a terrible position. One medevac almost gets taken out immediately. But 3-3 upgrades on both units. And who has the better concave? Wow. Polt. I can't really tell what's going on here. Free barrages here from Fnatic, and actually, oh no! Polt just lost all those units. And he's in big trouble. He's gonna try dropping, and no, how huge amount of tanks here. Just 2 Marines dropped off could destroy this Viking. Maybe just 1, actually. 2 hit. No, he's just gonna drop a lot and then move out. The supplies are virtually the same, but if we take a look at the unit counting station, 17 siege tanks to 10. While aLive has a relatively low marine count, the tanks will just eat will just eat everything. All those Marines will die, and now 6 tanks are all that is left, and 2 of them are back at home somewhere. 2 of them are back here. I think some sort of drop play just went on here. Yes, a huge drop. I didn't see that. We're taking a look at everybody once again. Oh no, let's take a look. Oh, a forward stamp, but he's unable to pick off a siege tank before they're ready in position. And we'll see if aLive decides to take this. Oh, wow. Who just lost all their units? Was it? No, it was again. Fnatic lost a bunch of Marines again. He's just throwing these Marines away, but they're so cheap. They are dirt cheap. But the problem is, Polt only has 5 tanks, and a drop on these tanks means it's going to be no tanks. All these tanks are going to get cleaned up. Polt unable to do anything, and now the tanks from aLive have free reign over everything. These Marines will now last so much longer here. These tanks, all these tanks are in such a great position. Polt, all of his Marines just dying. This could be GG right here. Let's look. He all of a sudden he has a lower Marine count than aLive, and aLive is showing why it's so important to have that high tank count. And the tank even caught out of position here before it sieges up. There's no way that Polt can pull out of this. There are too many siege tanks. The Marines have done their job, and TSL Polt, GG's. It all came down to that siege tank count. I think. I feel like if Polt had decided to go for more tank production, he might have been able to pull out a victory there, but he didn't have enough factories. He didn't have enough tanks in any of those engagements, and then when he lost these tanks right here, he lost his position, and aLive was just able to steamroll forward. And that is exactly why in a Terran versus Terran, if you're going Marine tank, if you have more tanks, you're going to win. But it also depends on position. You have to be real careful. This has been game number 3. This means that aLive is going to be going on to the round 2 in the champions bracket here in the IPL season, and he's going to face who's he going to face? He's going to face Stefano. No, he's going to face Nesti, rather. I got my 2 Zergs there mixed up. So it will be a TVZ, and I will cast that as soon as I possibly can. So I will see you guys next time. This has been ProNewbie Force 5.